What's up, everybody? It's Tuesday, it's the Nightline Agenda. I'm your host, Craig. You're very welcome along. Only 3 more days till the Reds are back in action. Lots to get through tonight, lots and lots to get through. The wheels have come off the motherfucking bus already, ladies and gentlemen. He's only signed his new contract, so he's only the saviour, and the wheels have come off the Ollie bus already. Oh, Ollie, tell me, how does the Europa League feel now that Ollie's at the wheel? I don't even know the fucking song, but do you know what? I just want to get a dig in, because I remember a certain channel calling us bottlers. I remember a certain channel saying that Liverpool have thrown away the league. Well, enjoy the Europa League, motherfuckers, because Ollie is a fraud, bitches. He's a fraud. Woo! Let's start with a bit of Ric Flair tonight. How are we, ladies and gentlemen? I hope you're all keeping well. I'm having a fucking great day. I have to say, I'm having an absolutely great day. How does it not get better? United make a show of themselves against Wolves again. We're in action on Friday, so that's great. Only a few more days to go for that one. Who have we got in tonight? Let's say hello to some people. Who have we got in? Lots of people in the chat already. Rafa the Gaffer, Patrick Silk, Joshua Hoy, Keen Rainsford, Adrian Hall, Patrick Silk, Leader for Sam, Kyle Martin, the Revenite, our very own Connor Crosby, Sebastian Percy, how are we? Andre, Brian Morrissey, Andre Simbesta, Luke. I think I've missed a few people, but look, how the hell are we? How are we all feeling? LFC or Leicester City FC boy. I keep calling you LFC boy, mate. I'm sorry, Anthony. Leicester City FC boy said, why are United so shit? It's the age-old question, buddy, isn't it? It's a beautiful question and one that we could give you so many answers to, but this is a Liverpool show, so as much as I had a slight little dig there at the start of the stream, let's get straight into Liverpool topics. How are we all feeling? Barcelona got to utterly humiliate United, to Brian Morrissey. No argument here. Opinion on Aguero's injury, asks Sean. I never want to hear of a player being injured, mate, and I've said this time and time again, I want us to win the league. I don't want an asterisk beside it. He's picked up an injury. I don't think it's serious, to be fair. I think if we're being honest here, Pep Guardiola's looked at that and gone, yeah, fuck it, we can beat Cardiff without Aguero. Let's let him rest up just to make sure he's okay for the Champions League. Boom, lost in the FA Cup and lost in the league, said Patrick Silk. Wolves killed United out there. It was brilliant. It was like a calamity of errors. They should have been 2-0 up, but they're shit. To be fair, they're absolute dog shit. I don't care what anybody says. That Manchester United team is one of the poorest Manchester United sides I can remember seeing in the Premier League era. They're absolute dog shit. You can talk about Pogba. I'm not even going to go in on Pogba during this one because he's an easy scapegoat. I mean, you can talk about fucking chances being missed in the first half. I mean, what's his name? The little fucking pixie looking motherfucker. What's his name? Your man that likes to dance around the dressing room like a nonce. What's his name? He's so irrelevant I can't even remember the little fucker's name. Your man, fucking this boy, Dancy boy, around the dressing room, that fella. Whatever his name is. Anyway, fucking bunch of frauds, a lot of them. Good enough for them. Enjoy the Europa League, bitches. We're where we belong. Fabinho to start on Friday. I would say so. Lewis, I would say so, mate. We've seen the difference he made when he came on against... at the weekend when he came on. Sorry, my mind's all over the place here. I haven't even settled into the stream yet. You've seen the difference that he made when he came on against Spurs. I mean, the midfield was steady and stuff, but the dynamism that Fabinho gives us in that midfield, the passing range he gives us, defensively we know his qualities, and I would be amazed, Lewis, if he doesn't start at Southampton at the weekend. Say the weekend, it's Friday night really, isn't it? Evening all, and your Craigness, good evening to you, Peter, mate, welcome. You're saying this now, but if we beat Man City, you'll be loving United. Absolutely, pal. I'm a hypocrite. Football fans are hypocritical by nature. If you guys beat Manchester City or take points off City and we win the league, yeah, I'll tip my hat to you and say good day, a good afternoon or a good evening's work. It's a Wednesday, isn't it? So it'll be a good evening's work, but come on. You've got to be honest. Even the most ardent United fans must be wondering what the fuck happened over the past couple of weeks, because the bounce seems to have fallen away. But look, I'm not here to talk about Manchester United. I'll leave that to you guys to tear them apart. I'm here to celebrate Liverpool and all things Liverpool Football Club related. I probably wouldn't have gone in on United at all, actually, if a couple of people hadn't had sly digs. Or they weren't even sly digs, they were blatant digs. I mean, title and streams, Klopp bottles the league for Liverpool or something like that. There you go. I mean, who's bottling it now? Fulham are relegated, which is unfortunate. They spent a lot of money. I think they were the first promoted club to spend in excess of 100 million, I believe, if memory serves correct. Even though Babel did get on the score sheet for them today, that couldn't stop them from being relegated. So maybe Ryan Sessegnon is an option. What do you think? Will we go in for Ryan Sessegnon? I'd say there's a couple of clubs going to be getting in for Ryan Sessegnon. I'm worried that Wolves are our last game up the red, said Alex O'Malley. Wolves are a good side, mate. Don't be fooled by anyone dropping points to Wolves. They are a good side, especially at home. What I will say is, if the title's on the line last day of the season and we're at home, that's all we could really ask for. After that, mate, the opposition should, to some extent, be irrelevant. But yeah, look, Wolves are a good side. But don't forget their captain's a Scouser. Cardiff might be sour over the weekend, just gone. Could be up for it against City. Again, my opinion on this one is City are just going to steamroller over them tomorrow night. And it's not where I expect Manchester City to drop points. I do expect them to drop some points, but not against Cardiff at home. Do you think United will let City win just to stop us winning the league? They can't. How can they do it, Sean? They have to get points to get into the Champions League, mate. They can't just roll over and have their bellies tickled by City and end up in the Europa League. Goldbridge is fuming. I'm loving it, said JM. Look, you know I have a soft spot for Mark Goldbridge. This is all banter back and forth. I mean nothing personal. If I go in on personal attacks, I go in and I don't hold back. But I've nothing against Mark Goldbridge. You know that. Mark Goldbridge is a good lad. But I'm not a United fan, so I'm going to take the piss out of them like I should. It's ingrained into me. Lingard, yeah, that was the dancing little fool I was trying to think of. Who do you think is going to win the Premier League? I think Spurs if they play. Who do you think is going to win us the Premier League? Sorry, mate. I didn't read your question right. Could be Spurs. Could be United. Could be Palace. Could be us. I know we're not playing them, but you know we're going to win us the league is where I was going with that. United losing is great news for Liverpool. Now they have to beat City to give us that title, said Daniel Dartman Hill. Joanne is in. Joanne, hello. Man United Bus Company, said Luke McDonald. Don't forget to give a shout out to our pal Mike Dean. Became the first Premier League referee to reach 100 red cards. I was a little bit disappointed though. There was none of his theatrics. You know, Mike Dean, when he gives a booking or a card, he likes to make it very theatrical, give it the full on pointing, and yeah, it was a little bit. But it was, to be fair, there's nothing he could have done. It was a second yellow. It was a ridiculous tackle. He got the ball, but then went straight through and caught the player on the leg. He was high as well, studs up over the ball. It was definitely, I mean, Ashley Young is always a calamity waiting to happen, but that was a definite second yellow. I don't think he can have any arguments with that one. Can't wait for Friday. I'll be watching the game as I'm in work. Hopefully see Brighton beat City on Saturday. Score predictions for the games. A little bit too early for me, buddy, to be going in on score predictions, but what did I say? 3-1? I think I said 3-1. How is everybody anyway? I feel like I haven't spoke to you in ages. I know it's only a day, but I mean 24 hours a lot can happen, especially if you're a Manchester United fan. But yeah, I think we'll win the league. We're going to win the Champions League as well, said Radical Gambino, and that is the title of tonight's stream. Can we do both? Why not? Why not go balls out? Why not have the belief to think that Liverpool can go and win both? Technically, we need a favour to win the Premier League. We can't lie about that. There's no point in coming on here being braggadocious. I just wanted an excuse to use the word braggadocious. And saying, no, we're going to win the double. But we can win the double, and we need to believe that we can win the double, both as fans, as players. I've no doubt Klopp will believe it. I've no doubt that he's drilling into the players as well. But as fans, we need to believe that, yeah, it's not out of the question. We can go and win the double. Why not? Bad news for me. I have this dumb rash, and I had to miss school. Hope it clears up soon, mate, and I hope you're well. If Liverpool won up, Liverpool need 2 goals. I mean, sometimes, mate, your comments make no sense to me. Sorry, I don't get it. Nuno at the wheel, 3-1 against Brighton, said familiar to billions. Barca are in bad form. They were winning last I seen. I don't know what happened, but they were 2-1 up against Villarreal. I don't know how that one ended up. Let me just check here now. They lost 3-2 or they're losing 3-2. Sorry, they're losing 3-2 with 20 minutes to go. That's nuts. Pissed off after Keane racism shit. Amazing player. Another goal for Keane, said Roberto. Look, mate, the racism shit in football is disgusting, isn't it? I get you. I understand why you're pissed off, and we spoke about this a few times. It needs to be stamped out of the game. Seems like a very good player though. Hey Craig Reds from Glasgow, DCB, how are you, mate? Welcome. I beg Man U beat Manchester City, said LFC 333. Danny, how are you, mate? Welcome in. Patrick Silk is in as well. Wolves to reach the FA Cup final and beat City. I mean, there's something about that group of players that Wolves have, isn't there? There really is something about them. The manager and the owners have put together a very, very good group there, and there is some star sprinkling, I suppose, there, but most of their stuff is based off hard work, good work ethic, a solid system, tactical nous from the manager, and the crowd behind them as well. So Wolves do look like a club on the up. Any snow around my place? No, Evan, not at the minute, mate, thank God. There was a few hailstones earlier on, actually, but snow-wise, at the minute, we're alright. With momentum, we can win the double, said Elijah John. Good evening, Craig and fella Red, said John Hamilton. How are you, mate? Welcome in. Ella is in as well. How are you? Will Oxlade-Chamberlain Gomez be fit for the bench on Friday? No, mate, they won't. They're a bit off, yeah. Oxlade-Chamberlain, just forget about Oxlade-Chamberlain. It's honestly... I don't mean that in a bad way, because Jesus, I love him, but I mean, forget about expecting him to be on the bench or start anytime soon. If we get minutes out of him this year, it'll be a massive bonus. But Gomez, yes, I'll expect Gomez back maybe around the time of the Porto second leg, perhaps, maybe a little bit sooner. Again, just a guess. Have you noticed we struggle after long breaks? We just won, Elijah John. We won. Usually I would agree with you, particularly if we go away, if we head over for one with the training camps, but we beat Spurs. What's your opinion on the Pickford situation? I don't really have an opinion on it, Joshua, to be honest, mate. Oh, Joshua, I need to give you a yogi, don't I? 1 second. I don't really have an opinion on it, mate, to be honest. He's not a Liverpool player, so I don't really pay much heed to it. Yeah, I don't really have an opinion on it, mate. We're all human. We all get angry. We all make mistakes. If he's being jeered in a bar or whatever, I mean, we're all human. He makes mistakes, as we know. He's made 9 this season that have led to goals in the Premier League, more than any other player. But he makes mistakes in life as well, it seems, and we all do. So, I mean, it's much ado about nothing, really, isn't it, to be fair? I don't think it's anything major. Ollie's at the wheel on the road to the Europa League, said V.A. Van Dijk. Chris said, glad we've got Wolves in the last game at home. It's going to be a tough game. I mean, it'd be nice if there's something on it going into that last game. I like the new animation on the right, looks good, thank you very much. But again, I can't take any of the credit for that one, Jack. You know who the brains is behind that. It's Mr. Connor, of course. Hailstones in Wales too, said Danny. It's weird, isn't it? It really is like getting all the seasons in one day these days. Do you think we can beat Manchester City in the Champions League? Spurs fan? Yes, I do, mate, I do. And I don't think you will, but I think you can, and I think it's going to be a lot closer than most people think. Yeah, I'm very intrigued by your 3 games coming up against Manchester City, mate, if I'm being honest. Spurs know what they're about, and if they have belief, with the new stadium, and with, 54, 58, 62, I don't know, 62, something like that, 1,000 fans behind them. It's possible, mate. It's absolutely possible. And I wish you well in both legs, because I despise that club. I absolutely despise Manchester City. Not the fans, not the manager, not the players, just the ownership and the way it's being run. Delighted United appointed Ole. He's going to be a disaster next season, said Elijah John. I did say as well, you probably expect to see a director of football or a technical director go in there if and when Solskjaer got the job, and lo and behold, he's in there and there's talk already of a technical director, which basically means he's a coach. He's going to have fuck all say over things by the looks of it. Looks like to me from the outside he's just a yes man for the owners, but again, Ollie's at the wheel. Can we have a special regarding progress of a new training complex and the Anfield expansion commencement? Yes, I mean, I can definitely look into doing something around the expansion of Kirby, mate. But the steel structure had gone up last I'd seen. But yeah, I'll look into it, buddy, and I will get back to you. Oxlade-Chamberlain won't be back this season, said Elijah John. Exactly. If he does a couple of minutes here or there, it'll be very, very minor. The most important thing is getting him ready for pre-season, getting a full pre-season under his belt, and getting him fresh and ready to go for the start of next season. Spurs and United both need points against City, said Scott. Absolutely, Scott. That race for the top 4, buddy, is really heating up. Hi Craig, Eugene from Indianapolis, USA. VVD is worth his fee in gold. 100% agree, Eugene. Will be the reason we win the league. He'll be a massive part of it, buddy. The defensive solidity we've had this season has been almost unparalleled since the Benitez days. We've been pretty damn hard to break down, mate. Some of the goals we've conceded have been our own fault as well, which just goes to show how tough it is for teams to score against us. But yeah, you're right. He's absolutely class, Van Dijk. Absolutely class. And that 75 million looks like a drop in the ocean now, doesn't it? Familiar to Billion said, did you know Robbo has more assists than Scholes ever got in one season? I did not know that, mate, but you know, Robbo is class. He's absolutely class. We spoke last night, and maybe people want to comment on this perhaps in the chat. What's Robbo worth these days? What is Andy Robertson worth? Now, bear in mind, he cost us, I think, about 8.5 million, or as I like to say, a Kevin Stewart, because we basically did a swap deal there. What else? At the start, I was bricking facing Barca, but now I'm actually buzzing about it, said Joshua. Craig, quarter-final predictions. Juve beat Ajax, City to beat Spurs, we beat Porto, and Barca beat United. My predictions you asked for, Juve to beat Ajax, although I think it'll be a good 2 games. I think City will get past Spurs, but it'll be closer than I think people think. Will be Porto, and I think you're right, Bart. I pretty much agree with everything you've written there, Patrick, to be fair. Although the Spurs City game, I honestly think that could be closer than some people think. Fabinho should be our first choice midfielder. He's turned into a key player for us, said Chris Passmore. But he's been amazing. Absolutely amazing. And do you remember, if we just think back a few months now, people were saying, has he made a mistake? Does he regret buying Fabinho? And a lot of people were just saying and reminding people that it takes time for players to settle in, and Jurgen Klopp doesn't really put players in until he's 100% ready to go. And he's ready to go. He put him in, and he hasn't stopped since. He's been amazing. What else have we got? City fans are arrogant as United fans these days, said Elijah John. Do you think Spurs will fill their new stadium? They hardly LFC. Yeah, I do, to be fair. I do think they'll fill the stadium. I don't know how long for, and I don't mean that, how do I say that without sounding arrogant or rude? I don't know if the shine will wear off the new stadium, but success and consistent Champions League football will keep bringing people back to was going to call it White Hart Lane, but to the new stadium. Yeah, so yeah, I do. Honestly, I think they'll fill it or be close to filling it. I have no idea what the season ticket sales were, but I'm sure they were fairly decent. I mean, it is a wonderful stadium, to be fair to Spurs. It really is. I had a good look around the images and the videos and stuff, and it looks like a smashing stadium. So no hate for me towards Spurs. They're trying to do the right thing. Daniel Levy trying to secure the future of the football club, and I'm all for that. Do you listen to True Geordie? I think he's great, said Big Kid. No, I don't, but not because, you know, I dislike him. I just don't watch that on YouTube, to be fair, or very little on YouTube. But anyone I know that does watch him, and I know Connor watches him a lot, rate him very highly. And look, his numbers speak for themselves, don't they? So, yeah, that's basically my opinion. I wish I had a more in-depth answer for you, but I'm not much of someone that watches YouTube, to be fair. I listen to podcasts, listen to Joe Rogan, and that's about it. Who are the people in blue writing in the chat? They are the moderators of the channel, buddy. So the people with a blue spanner beside their name and have blue in their name, they're basically the people who control the chat for us. So if trolls come in, start abusing people in the chat, spamming links to betting sites or spamming links to bigtitties.com, there's one for the old school people in the chat. Yeah, they boot them out or they can hide them. Liverpool has developed so much over this season, said GTM boss. It's been some change around, hasn't it, from last season? And I don't mean that in a way of last season we were shit, but I mean we've almost sacrificed. Well, we've been through this conversation so many times. We've almost sacrificed some attacking intent for defensive stability, and look where it's got us to. We're currently top of the league. We could sell Lovren for 40 million. That's a really, really good question, Rafa the Gaffer. And actually, Brian Morrissey sent me a message about this yesterday on WhatsApp. He said, I can see a lot of Liverpool fans, myself included, think that Dejan Lovren may be moved on in the summer. And I think that's fair to say. I've seen at least 3 or 4 links to Italian clubs. But like Brian and myself, there's been very little talk of how much Dejan Lovren will be worth. So how much is Dejan Lovren worth if Liverpool were to sell him? Will fill the stadium, said Spurs fan. I think you will as well, to be fair, mate. Do you think Liverpool will win easily against Porto? Do you think it'll be a tight game? I think we will beat them by maybe 3 or 4 goals over the course of the 2 legs, Mark. And I don't mean to be disrespectful to Porto, but let's be honest, when the draw was made, we were happy. We were happy about it. It was one of, if not the easiest draw we could have gotten. That doesn't mean I'm being disrespectful to Porto. It just means you're in the last 8 in Europe. United, Chelsea, or United, City, Spurs, Barcelona, Ajax, Juventus, ourselves, Porto. Porto probably were the team you were looking out for, so I was quite happy when we got that draw, to be honest. But it's the quarterfinal of the Champions League. They got there on merit. They knocked out Roma, who of course we knew well last season in the Champions League, got to the semi-finals. So they must have something about them, and I'm sure Jurgen Klopp will not allow any complacency from the lads whatsoever. Dosty Play said, I wish I got 10k. Mate, it's taken a year of hard work and I think 243 streams so far for us to get to the 10k, and I cannot tell you how grateful we are to have gotten to the 10,000 subscribers in our first season. So again, thank you to everybody for that. But if you are watching and you haven't subscribed, please do hit that button. There's still 5-6 weeks of the season left, and I'd love to see how far we can go with regards to subscribers. So if you are watching, you like what you're seeing, please do hit that button. Just a reminder that all our content on here is free. It's always going to be free. Problem with the new stadium for Spurs is getting used to it. It'll take some games to get properly used to it. Might be a bit of a benefit to them that they get to play some at the end of this season, and getting ready for next season. They can play a few games in pre-season then, and then be raring to go. The new stadium broken in to start the next season. Okay, Spurs Stadium is nice, said V8 Die. It is a very nice stadium, to be fair to them. I don't like it from the outside. It doesn't look great from the outside, but on the inside it looks like a wonderful stadium. And it would have all new mod cons and everything you'd expect. I think Lovren's worth 15 million to Joshua Hoy. What does the GW stand for in the Southampton slide to the right, Connor? The GW? Game week. Sorry, it means game week. So game week, what is this? Game week 32? Is it for Liverpool? Game week 32? Game week 33? I can't remember, something like that. But yeah, that's what it means. In my opinion, Lovren's worth 20 million, said Robert Milliken. I'd love to see United and Liverpool in the semi-final. I wouldn't. I'd much rather play Barcelona. I think actually it would be an easier tie to play Manchester United over 2 legs. I just would rather it be Barcelona because I'm a romantic and I'd love a Champions League semi-final, second leg at home against Barcelona. It would just be amazing. Love Joe Rogan, thought he was kissing Deontay Wilder's arse, but other than that, love his show. I agree, and I think it's true of a lot of American broadcasters towards Deontay Wilder. I mean, I watched The Breakfast Club with Charlemagne and the guys on there, and they were the same when they interviewed him. I mean, I think it's because he's American. I don't know. I mean, look, Joe Rogan's going to be respectful. He was very respectful of Tyson Fury as well when Tyson Fury was on there. And to me, Joe Rogan can't really do any wrong. I mean, I absolutely adore the guy, as does millions and millions of people. Like, he's just quality. Boyer reckons 15 million for Degsy. Hashtag Ollie out, said Rafa the Gaffer. I watched the Maddie documentary. All I can say is corpse dogs don't lie. I think I don't really want to get into this on the stream. I've tried my best to ignore it. And a few people, I've watched it. I've watched all 8 parts of the Madeleine McCann documentary. And I leave it up to everybody to make up their own minds on it. It's not really for me to say. I have my own opinion on it, of course. And what I will say is, without giving away my opinion changed from before the documentary to after the documentary. It changed when I found out bits and pieces throughout it that, you hear certain things in social media, you see certain things posted, and you don't know what's true, what isn't true, but when you've got the facts in front of you, it makes it a lot easier to make up your own opinion. And I mean, that's, at the end of the day, we're all entitled to look at things our own way and see what we feel. I don't want to steer anybody towards a particular opinion, so what I would say is it's definitely a very good watch. It's an 8-part series, definitely worth the watch, if you have Netflix, that is. Craig, we bought Lovren for 20 million. I think a sale price of 25 million is a fair price in today's market. He's 30 years old next year. Perhaps include him in a deal for somebody incoming to LFC, said Evan. I think price-wise, mate, yeah, I don't think you're too far off at all. I think that sounds very reasonable indeed. Whether we can include him in a potential deal, I don't know, but I think you're not too far off there, mate, with the price. And 30 is almost peak for a central defender, isn't it? It's almost his prime years. Or maybe even is his prime years. I don't know these days with centre-backs. With midfielders, you're talking 26 to 28, maybe even 29, but with centre-backs, maybe 30 to 32 could be their peak years. How much did United lose by? They lost 2-1 after going 1-0 up, and Jesse Lingard missed a sitter of a header as well. It was comical stuff. It was great to watch. Evening Reds, Wolves were brilliant tonight. Jose parked the bus now while he's reversing it. And Crosby Red, love it. Absolutely love it. If Liverpool beat Porto the semi-final first leg at Anfield... if Liverpool beat Porto, the semi-final first leg be at Anfield or away? Right, this depends on who we're playing, buddy. If, let's say, worst case scenario, Manchester City get through on their side and Manchester United beat Barcelona, in that case, the fixtures would be flipped and the first leg would be at Anfield and the second leg would be away. That's because UEFA don't allow any city to have two teams from the same city playing the same week, basically. So one on Tuesday, one on Wednesday. It's just not allowed. So we're down to play the second leg at home, but if United and City were to get through, then we'd have to play the first leg at home. But if Barca got through, for instance, then we'd be sound to have the second leg at Anfield. Hope that makes sense. Yeah, Charlemagne was on Joshua's back. He was, wasn't he, to be fair? But he loved Ed Sheeran, which I found really weird. Sorry, I'm gone off on a tangent here. People might have a clue what I'm talking about. 15 to 20 million for Lovren sounds about fair, said the Irish Beard. Hey, for selling Lovren, he's in the 30 million plus bracket, said Gonads. The fella has played in the Europa League, Champions League and World Cup final in the past 3 years. We're not giving him away, which is, again, a very good point, and he is the self-proclaimed best defender in the world, even though I don't think he said that, but he said something along those lines. I don't think he actually called himself the best. I think he said he's one of the best, maybe. But, you can't argue with facts. He has done exactly what Gonads has said. Do you think we need to buy a new goalkeeper? Oh, do you? Sorry, I read that and I was thinking, we just bought one from a Spurs fan. It's really difficult because Hugo Lloris can be exceptional and he can be diabolical. I mean, you'll know better than me, mate. You watch more of him, but we're talking about a World Cup winning goalkeeper there that I've seen produce unbelievable saves and has unbelievable distribution at times, and then I've seen him do absolutely comical things, mate. So probably best for you to tell me. From the outside, maybe, but I would say there's probably positions I might prioritise a little bit ahead of that. Another forward perhaps to back up Kane and Son, and yeah, there's probably a couple more positions, but if you could do one, I'd say yeah, probably, but I wouldn't say it's top of the shopping list. Lovren's worth 22 million, very precise from Poochmount. 22 million, I like it. Can't go for both as Liverpool are using all their luck up in the Premier League. Yeah, we can. Absolutely, we can. There's plenty of luck to go around. Q, I promise you, we can carry that luck into the Champions League as well. 200 million for Virgil, that's his real price at V8 Van Dijk. Ollie's at the wheel and he's driving right down to the Europa League. Whoop! Said lazy demonetization. Apologies for anybody who has earphones on there. So many comments. Sorry, the chat seems to be moving a lot quicker. Joanne said don't have Netflix. I'll tell you what though, I'm getting to the point, Joanne, where I'm thinking of ditching normal fucking television and just keeping like Netflix, Amazon Prime and a few other bits and pieces, because I spend most of my time, or most of the stuff I do enjoy watching actually, is on Netflix these days. Look at me advertising Netflix here without getting a shilling from them or anything, but look, it is, we can't argue. Over here in Ireland it's €10.99 for, I think it might be a cheaper one, but the one we have maybe is €10.99. I think there might be a €6.99 or €7.99 a month version as well, and there's a £15 a month version. But as I said, they're euro prices in Ireland. I know varies from country to country. Guarantee you all Salah will score on Friday, said Elijah John. I'm right behind you, buddy. I hope so as well. Netflix are £8 billion in debt. A lot of the times companies like that though take 15-20 years to turn a profit, may never turn a profit. They are paying a lot of money for things that sometimes it raises your eyebrows. Like the money they paid for the Friends reruns and stuff like that seems astronomical. Someone in my class said Van Dijk is overrated and there's nothing Van Dijk can do that Lindelof can't. Okay, mate. Beating Wolves would probably be one thing that he can do. The Manchester Derby will be the game that costs City the title, mark my words, said Bryce Werder Bremen. I hope so, buddy. I hope you're right. I'd be very happy for that to be the case. Vigo said Manchester United are shy. Again, happy to read it out, mate. Happy to read it out. Would you take Coutinho back? No, I wouldn't, because I am a spiteful little shit, to be honest. From a playing point of view or quality, yes. Coutinho's an excellent footballer. But I've seen a couple of different figures doing the rounds. I've seen 110 million and then I've seen 80 million euro. It's the way he left that I don't think he'd come back to Liverpool, the way he pissed off the manager. For those that don't know what I read, and I believe it was in that fantastic article from Melissa Reddy, he approached other senior professionals to try and lean on Jurgen Klopp to help facilitate his move to Barcelona. Now, I am kind of paraphrasing here a little bit, so I don't want to, put words on the page of Melissa Reddy, but it was something along those lines. I'm sure the article is probably still around if you want to have a read of it. Did you hear what Steve Nicol said? Salah will cost us the league. Look, to be fair to Stevie Nicol, he does like to say some sensationalist bullshit. I mean, he was an unbelievable player for this football club, but I have heard him come out with some absolute shite over there in America. When he's talking, I mean, fuck off, mate, is all I can say, really. Mo Salah is not going to cost us anything. Mo Salah could be part of the reason why we win the title or why we win the Champions League. To say he'll cost us because he can't score, I mean, Nicol just needs to shut the fuck up, if I'm being honest. And I wish more TV stations and stuff said this. I mean, I wish this is why I love YouTube fan content, whatever channel it's on, because people can speak their minds. You hear the truth. Like I'm a big fan of boxing YouTube channels as well, and some of the few things I do watch on YouTube, usually boxing, and it's like IFL TV. So you'd hear Eddie Hearn on there, and he'd be talking about stuff in a much more down to earth style than he would on Sky, because he can use some language, he can be a bit more colourful, and it's much more affable to us fans. So I think the same should be like that in football content. I would much prefer people to be able to speak their mind more freely and not have fear of not being asked back on Sky or whatever. And that's why I love football fan channels, because you're getting people's honest, heartfelt, sometimes raw reaction to things, and it makes for interesting viewing. Hugo has gone to shit, said V.A. Van Dijk. Lloris is a liability, said Eliza John. Barca are 4-2 down now. Jesus Christ. I think they have enough of a buffer, though, to be fair, to carry on there and win the league. Back to Southampton for Degsy. There's one or two there I'd be interested in bringing here. Did anybody see Ryan Bertrand come out today, or maybe it was yesterday? He came out today or yesterday, and he was speaking about trying to exploit weaknesses in Salah's game. Now, whilst I understand he has to come out and, back himself, I think I hope this comes back to bite him in the arse. So when I was reading it, I was thinking, oh mate, and I rate Ryan Bertrand, by the way, as a footballer. I think he's a very good footballer, and before we signed Robertson, he was on a list of players that I wouldn't have minded Liverpool going for, to be fair. But did I say Robinson? I meant Robertson. If I did say Robinson, I meant Robertson. Sorry, my mind's all over the place. I'm thinking 2 or 3 comments ahead here. Yeah, he was on a list of players I wouldn't have minded, but I don't know if this might come back to bite him in the arse. Lloris' best game of the season was against Leicester, said Boya, with a little bit of a fuck you as well. Lloris gave Mandzukic a goal in the World Cup final, said Tom Jones. IF what TV? IFL, Connor, IFL, not your IF. It's IFL, it's a boxing channel. What else have we got? Craig, I think the peak years for centre back need to be updated, re-evaluated, aka Van Dijk 27, Varane 25, Koulibaly 27, John Stones 24, and Gomez 21. Yeah, it's tough to fucking pick the bones out of that, Evan, isn't it? When you can make arguments for all of them being in absolutely phenomenal form, and as you said, they range from 21 right through to 27. He talks trash because he's being too Americanized, said Brian Morrissey. Any American fans that we have in the chat, by the way, who October, I know for instance you probably see a lot of Stevie Nicol over there. What's your thoughts on the way he speaks about Liverpool Football Club? Do you think sometimes he's a little bit too sensationalised? Rafa the Gaffer said Stevie Nicol is doing it for publicity. NBC are a scummy corporate entity run by goons in suits and boardrooms. Just look what they did to Conan O'Brien. I actually have no idea what happened with Conan O'Brien, so I'll have to push on from that one. Steve Nicol can be a tick at times, said Craig Weston. Nobody fucks with Conan O'Brien, said Brian Morrissey. Villarreal are a man down as well. Jesus Christ, that's nuts. Apparently Steve Nicol was the last LFC defender to win Player of the Year, said Crosby Red. Another interesting fact. Thank you for that one, mate. I did not know that. How is everybody, by the way? How the hell are you? I hope you're all keeping well. We got off to a bit of a weird start tonight, didn't we? I was on a bit of a buzz because United got a beating, which always makes me smile. I mean, I'm sure it does to most of you guys as well, apart from the few Manchester United fans that we have been watching. Shout out to you all. Hope you're all keeping well. Ollie's at the wheel and all that. I can almost see the trolling comments now later on. Fuck you, you fat bald nonce. Fuck you. Fuck you. And so on and so forth. But just because they're good players doesn't mean everything they say is gold, said Bryce Werder Bremen, which is true. Absolutely. There's been a lot of fantastic players who have turned out to be shy pundits, mate. I'd agree with you on that one. I'm glad we're scoring in the 90th minute, but we need more convincing wins. The midfields are Achilles' heel. What do you think, said Diane McCabe. Someone mentioned something similar last night, actually, Diane, about the midfield being our Achilles' heel or a weak point, and I somewhat understand what people mean by that, but I think they mean from a creative aspect going forward, because defensively the midfield is more than doing its job. So yeah, I think it can be updated a little bit. Personally though, I don't mind how we win games, mate, as long as we get the 3 points at the end of the day. How fun was it to celebrate that 90th minute winner against Spurs, and how fun was it to celebrate Big Cock Divoc's goal against Everton? So I don't mind a late winner every now and again, but it's not good for the old ticker. If that was the case, Gonads, nope, that's not for me. Hi Craig, did you see WWE Sheamus celebrating Liverpool's win on Sunday? I didn't see it yet, but somebody told me it was a CSNBC thing where they go to bars and watch Premier League games or something, and it was in Boston. Am I right about that one? Or but Sheamus, God, he's the most... I love Sheamus, and I love WWE as well, but he is the whitest man in the world, isn't he? He is so pale, God love him. October said, I don't see Steve Nicol speak ever. I don't pay attention to NBC or whatever. I tend to not give a fuck about commentators / pundits. Nice. You're more my neck of the woods, mate. Every time we talk, I'm understanding a bit more. I agree. I'm not mad for pundits either. Sometimes, like, I do have to say, I have a lot of time for Carragher and Neville on Sky. I think that they speak a lot of sense. Sometimes you get some good stuff on BT. I love the European Football Show on BT with Julian Laurent, James Richardson, Raphael Honigstein, and I can't remember who the other person is, but I do like that show when the Champions League is on, I have to say. When the group stages are on and they show all the goals as soon as they go in. I think it's one of the best football shows on TV, actually. We need United to pick up form so they can beat City, said Sheikh Hisham. Yeah, it's working out towards our favour, I think. I mean, Spurs now have to go and do something. United have to go and do something. Spurs, I think, have a good chunk, maybe 5 of their games remaining are at home as well. So, yeah, United have to get their finger out, and they can't really afford to drop many more points at all. Look, I know we took the piss out of United, and rightly so, and we will continue to do so for the rest of the season, but I have to be honest and say, when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer took over there, I didn't think they were going to get near the Champions League places. I mean, they were so fucking far down at the time, but, you know, he got them close, and they could still do it. Villarreal just got robbed big time. What happened there? 4-4. Jesus. 4-4. Suarez in the 90th minute. Messi in the 90th minute. Oh my goodness. I don't even want to know what went on there. Did you see Pickford's bar fight? I did. Again, I commented on it a little bit earlier on, buddy. He's human. That's all I'll say. Sometimes I know footballers have to be professional and do all the right things as much as they can, but look, we've seen Gerrard do it before. I mean, people are human at the end of the day, and I don't know, sometimes I like to try and put myself in their positions, and if I was out with my missus or my mates having a few scoops and you're continuously getting abuse from somebody, I mean, I don't know. I never like to advocate violence, and you never should, but he is human. I mean, he's shown that when he fucked up for Everton. I mean, massively fucked up. I mean, how would you feel if you were Everton watching that? There's no harm. Van Dijk's hit a shot. It's going nowhere. We're all fucking raging. But then, out of nowhere, Pickford rises like a phoenix from the flames to push the ball up. Bounce off the crossbar. Bounce. Big Cock Divock arrives in the picture. Rises up like a salmon from the River Boyne. Nods it down into the goal. And all is good with the world. And Jordan Pickford's comments about not making mistakes came back to bite the little T-Rex motherfucker in the ass. But that aside, yeah, I don't mind what he did, to be fair. I mean, he's human. Craig, who'll be midfield 3 for Friday, asks Mark. Fabinho, Gini Wijnaldum, and I think you're probably going to see Milner. I would say Milner, at a guess. 4-4. Wow, that was a nut score. It's World Autism Day today, which of course it is. Thank you for reminding Sean, or Sean-Luc Doherty. It is World Autism Day today. And as you guys know, I have an autistic son, Lucas. I myself have Asperger's, which is a form of autism. So I'm sure most of you know that. I've spoken about it a few times before. So yeah, it's always great to try raise awareness. I actually went down Lidl today. We're selling ear defenders, and Lucas needed another pair, so we went down and got him a pair of ear defenders, which I can highly recommend, by the way. If anybody does have somebody with autism or sensory issues, hearing sensory issues in their family, I think we're like €13, which is really, really good value. But yeah, lots of love to everybody today. And if you do one thing today, if you have 5 minutes to spare, please just do have a look up on one of the autism pages and just try and find out a little bit more about it, because I have to be honest and say that before autism became part of my family's life, I was very, very naive. I knew very little about it. Even now, I'm still learning, and the pure scale of the spectrum that autism falls, or various guises or parts of autism fall under, it is mind-boggling. So to even try and describe it to people or sum it up in a few sentences is very difficult. But it is World Autism Day today. Thank you, mate, for bringing that up. And as I said, much love to my fellow Aspies, everyone around the world, and of course anybody with autism, much love to you. And if you've got an autistic child like me, I suppose all you can try and do is make your kid's world as safe, as happy and as enjoyable a place as it can possibly be. But yeah, much love to all my autism brothers and sisters around the world. We'll be fine in the middle of the park with Oxlade Chamberlain and Cadis and Craig Weston. Football commentary with an American accent is torture. Those Americans on NBC are just odd players. I've never heard that apart from McBride, said Poochmount. Somebody's there. Where we go? Hey Craig, hope you're well. I'm very well, thank you, John, mate, and I hope the same can be said of you, my friend. The Classico of the EPL is United versus Liverpool. It most definitely is. It's, to me, Manchester United Liverpool. I know people are probably going to think this is silly, but I think it's the biggest game in world football. I've always thought Liverpool United is the biggest game in world football. I've no idea. La Liga, the Classico might get more viewers. I don't know. But to me, it's the biggest game for me in the season. Yeah, United, Liverpool, Liverpool, United. Everton not far behind. But you look, as I'm not a Scouser. I wasn't born in the city of Liverpool. So I don't have that inbuilt rivalry and hatred for Everton from a tribal sense. I have it, of course, from a footballing perspective, being a fan. But it's United for me has always been the game I look out for when the fixtures come out. You're so cruel, Craig. Whoopsies. United shit stain on Life's boxer shorts, said Darren Calvin. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Wow, you look like Pickford then with those arms. I mean, didn't know Pickford was a fat ball fuck, but sorry, I don't know what's up with me today. I'm in a bit of a weird humour, so bear with me. Happy Autism Awareness Month, fellow Aspie, said Joanne, and right back at you. Be a few Spurs fans give it a huge sigh of relief tonight, said Gonads. Indeed there will, absolutely. Hit the like button, show your support for the channel, said Darren Calvin. Thank you very much, mate. And as you can see from the sliding images beside us right there up now, we have launched a new Patreon reward scheme. So if you want to help support the channel from a financial aspect, there's $2 and $5 tiers on there, and there's different rewards for different things. So if you want to go over there and check it out, it is patreon.com/Anfield Agenda. It's there in the description as well, I think. And also our new merch is out, as you can see, the fucking merch, and the link for that's in the description as well. I've got myself a fucking phone case, as you can see, and I absolutely love it. All bias aside, I absolutely love it. I really do. Craig, did you see Villarreal and Barcelona finished 4-4? Messi and Suarez scored in the 90th minute to get a draw. I seen it. I seen the score because somebody alerted me to it, but I haven't seen the goals yet. No Champions League and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as manager. Who wouldn't want to join Manchester United next year, said Brian. Absolutely. How big a part did autism play in how you did at school? Honestly, mate, I wasn't diagnosed until I was 33, I think. So I'm 37 now, so within the last 4 years. What I found going through school, and of course I didn't know, I knew I was a little bit different to other people, but I mimicked people a lot, so I mimicked behaviours and stuff, and I always knew that the thoughts that were going through my head and the things I wanted to say, I couldn't really say out loud, and I was very blunt towards people, and I could come across quite cold in my answers at times. I've got a very strange sense of humour. My mum used to always say to me, your mouth is going to get you into trouble. It may well do at some point in my life. It probably will, but I won't hide behind any excuses if it does. But I don't know. Looking back, I honestly don't know. I actually did alright in school, to be fair. I was supposed to study psychology and French when I went on to college, but family circumstances aside, I never got the chance to go to college yet. Still time in life to do that, but okay, to be fair. It'll be more interesting to follow my son's progression right through from being diagnosed before he even started primary school, right through to when he finishes school. But I can tell you one thing: anybody that is involved in teaching special needs kids or as an SNA, which is special needs assistant, these people are the absolute fucking superstars. I cannot tell you how far along our son Lucas has come with the amazing work done by the school system and the support staff. And the specialist training, it's night and day. I mean, I cannot say how much love my family have for them. The real unsung heroes in the world, and not just for kids with autism, any kids with special needs. They're amazing, absolutely amazing. And I know we've got a couple of people in the chat whose family, wives themselves work, whether it be special needs assistant, work in the schooling system, work with autistic kids, work with kids with Down syndrome. And Down syndrome is actually in our family as well, not in my immediate family, in my wife's side of the family. And my wife's mum always said something that stuck with me when I started going out with my wife. She said that she always felt that anybody who was blessed with a child that had special needs was the right, how do I phrase it, was able to fulfill that child's life. Basically, it was like these people, I don't know how to describe this. I'm sorry, this sounds so weird, I know. Yeah, basically, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Sorry, for the first time probably ever on a stream, I'm drawing a blank here. That they're able to make the most of their kids' lives, that they're able to enlighten their kids' lives, that they have the strength to make sure that the kids fulfill and have as wonderful a life as possible. That's kind of what I'm trying to say. I'm sorry I'm fucking that up. I'm thinking of doing autism presentations in schools, said Sean-Luc Doherty. Mate, please do. Because, as I said, I was very, very naive about autism before it came into my family. So United lost tonight. Where's all the Butlers comments? Actually, they're over on the United Stands channel, because myself and Connor couldn't help ourselves. We did pop in just to say a little hello earlier on. There's a difference between the United rivalry and the Everton rivalry. Everton fans live amongst Liverpool fans. You have the family member who are Everton fans and friends. It's more tolerable. You don't have family members who are... Yeah, I get where you're coming from. I mean, if I lived in the city, if I was lucky enough to be born and live in the city of Liverpool, yeah, I get you. Warnock not helping us tomorrow, then another news water is wet. Look, even if Cardiff went there with their strongest side, to be fair, we probably expect Manchester City at home to beat them and beat them quite easily. It's the Spurs game, the Palace game, the Manchester United game where I'd be more hopeful. But anything can happen in the Premier League, anything. As Manchester United can attest to this evening in Wolverhampton. Just as United fall apart, Barcelona are playing shit as well before the Champions League. They did rest Messi. I know they brought him on, but he was on the bench at the start of the game, so I think they were trying to get him ready to go for the Champions League. What do you think of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer signing a contract for United? I'm fucking delighted. I said it the other night, Rory. I think it will work out to be an error of judgment from the board at United. I think I was always expecting a director of football or whatever they want to rephrase it as these days to come in ahead of him. I think he'll have fuck all power over signings. He's basically a coach. And I think the shine will wear off. I think he will show to be tactically naive as he goes forward because he's fairly early in his managerial career and, you know, that's okay. I mean, it'll be the same if Gerrard, well, he's more experienced than Gerrard to be fair, but it would be the same if somebody with a few years experience was dropped in to manage Liverpool. I'd be very hesitant. You got the bounce when he came in and more than probably most of us expected and he got players back on side, but that shit only lasts for so long. The summer is going to be very telling and very interesting to see what happens there. There's already some stuff about Pogba moving on. De Gea is saying he wants 350 grand a week. Herrera and Mata have been linked with moves away because their contracts are running down. PSG and Barcelona, I think, have been linked to them. So let's wait and see. Brian Morrissey said your mouth got you a YouTube channel. Actually, Connor got us a YouTube channel, to be fair. If it wasn't for Connor, this channel wouldn't exist. I'd probably still be doing podcasts and not enjoying things as much as I am right now. I see Crashley Young finally got sent off tonight. Yep. How fitting is it that Ashley Young was Mike Dean's 100th red card in the Premier League? It just seems like it was a fate meant to be. I can't see this United side beating City, said Morton. We would have said the same last year when they did a number on them. Remember towards the end of last season, mate, I would have thought City would have battered them and United put them to the sword. So anything is possible. Well, I said those things at school with unrecognised and undiagnosed ADHD. Absolutely. I mean, in my generation, our generation, whichever way you want to call it, it's a lot of stuff went undiagnosed. But now, thankfully, there's a much more awareness, and kids are getting diagnosed younger. And with autism, especially early intervention is key. And the earlier you can get to a child, the more beneficial that it can be for them. So. Yeah, it's great that awareness is around these days, like when it wasn't when we were kids. But that's alright. I don't hold any hatred or any anger towards the fact that I wasn't diagnosed younger. I'm just grateful that I was diagnosed at one point in my life and things start to make sense. Won't win the quadruple, treble maybe, said Low Fat. I mean, at least you're being honest, mate. At least you're being honest. Interestingly though, buddy, which one would you think if you weren't to win, would you drop? Are you talking about maybe the Champions League not coming through or... fingers crossed, the Premier League? I'd love to know which one you think you might miss out on. And Low Fat there, the Manchester City fan, he's a lovely guy. He's been in our chat here for quite a while throughout the season. Always very down to earth, very humble, very respectful, and a bit of banter at times, which you'd expect, but a very nice guy nonetheless. Murder on Sedan's floor said the Barca game was mad. Barca 2-0 up, Villarreal 4-2 up, 11 yellows. See, this goes back to what we spoke about on the stream the other night. Dara asked us to do a bit of a segment on yellow cards. And I spoke about the difference in leagues, the difference of what gets given as a yellow. And I pointed to the fact that sometimes in Serie A and La Liga you see ridiculous amounts of yellows. 11 yellows and 1 red, so 12 cards in a game. Madness. Messi free kick and a Suarez literal last minute volley to equalise. That was insane. Where are Villarreal? Weren't they fighting relegation at one point in the season? I'm not sure if they're still down there or not. But Man United are being humbled right now. That arrogance under... Rudolph, that's brilliant. That's completely vanished. Years of uncertainty will be the norm for them now. Said Pooch Mount. Good enough for them, pal. Good enough for them. My eldest son is high functioning autism. He's great, said Sean Easton. Well, I would be what I would consider as well high functioning, Sean. But I hope your son's doing well. You said he's great, which is brilliant to see. I hope he continues to excel, mate. And please do keep me up to date, or keep us up to date with how he's getting on. Did you hear the Wolves fans singing the Bobby Firmino song? Do you know, I thought I heard a familiar tune, but I'd be lying if I said I knew the words. But I did think I heard a familiar tune. I live with 2 United fans and a Chelsea fan. It's a good laugh at the minute. Said Liverpool 5 times. Most of the Everton fans I've met and interacted with are lovely. It's an internet rivalry more than anything, said October. DirecTV over here, keep running the Hugo Lloris special during the breaks. Just keep bringing a smile to my face. Don't judge me. No judgment here. No judgment at all, Claire. My daughter special needs, gift from God, love her to bits, said Low Fat Mate. I don't know what to say. Love right back, mate. Love to your family and your daughter. And I'm sure she is an absolute gift from God, and I'm sure she brings pleasure and smiles and love to you every single day, and I hope that continues, mate. Have I been to Boss Night? No, I haven't been lucky enough to be into a Boss Night event yet, but wow is all I can say. They look tremendous. I often watch the videos back and stuff, and you see Jamie Webster doing this thing, and the nights seem to be getting bigger and bigger, and it's great to have that subculture to football, isn't it? And like Liverpool have always had a great fan culture. They've always had great music linked to the fan culture as well, and to see Boss Night be clever enough to step into that domain, and to be very, very fair in their price structure as well. I can't say anything but good things about them. Don't know anyone that runs it, have nothing to do with it, but it looks fucking class, to be fair. And the name is... They nailed it, didn't they? They just absolutely nailed it. Ollie's losing it before he started, said Craig Weston. Okay, where else? So many comments tonight, guys. Apologies if I'm not keeping up. I'm trying my best. Can't see City win the Champions League, said Cape Town Muslim. Fuck them all, we're going to win a double, said Stephen Richards. There you go, pal. Fuck them all. What's your opinion on Fekir links? Has there been any, mate? I mean, I don't know if you're referring to his agent giving money to Michael Edwards for his half marathon and prostate cancer research UK. Other than that, I haven't really seen any more links. I know he did come out and say, or I read somewhere, that he's not going to sign another deal with Leon, but unless I've missed something, buddy, I haven't seen any more links. Never heard a word from fans about Buvac. Exactly. Good, sound the Buvac klaxon, somebody. Wolves fans updated our Firmino song for Jimenez. Brilliant, thank you, Carl. Nice one. Joanne said I was diagnosed with Asperger's and OCD at 35, now 46. Answered loads of questions and also felt different from others. My lad was diagnosed with Asperger's and ADHD around 5. He's now approaching 21. It's I don't know, as you said, Joanne, I don't know how it felt for you, mate, but I was diagnosed roughly around the same time in life as yourself, and it kind of made me understand myself a little bit more. It was great. It was great to... Hasn't really changed anything. I mean, I've had no therapies, I've had no medications, nothing for anything from that side of things, but I just feel like I understand myself, my mind, my body a little bit more, and I kind of understand I'm wired a little bit differently to everybody else, and I'm leaning into it a little bit. Would you take Ruben Neves at Liverpool? I'm going to say no, but not because I don't believe in the quality of the young man, because he's a tremendous footballer. I just think we're sound for that deeper line midfielder at the moment. We need somebody a little bit further forward, and look, I know he has a shot on him, absolutely. Fabinho wasn't here all day long. If we moved on Henderson, absolutely, then we bring in Ruben Neves in my eyes. I'd love to see it, but as it stands with the midfield that we have and the bodies that we have, I would say no, but he is a quality footballer, and we were linked with him right back as far as when Brendan Rodgers was manager and he first broke through at Porto. Every night I'm a Liverpool fan is a boss night, said Stephen Richards. Sean Easton said he has an individual education plan with funding till he's 25. His favourite thing is computer. He's 15 now, but such a struggle. His mum is a miracle, mate. My wife is a miracle as well. I mean, she does so much of the heavy lifting. But I'm so happy to hear your son's doing well, Sean, and I hope he continues to do well, mate. Lovely guy, Craig. Respect to you, pal. Hope your channel grows to the best Liverpool fan channel. Good night, all. Thank you, mate. And please do drop back in. It's always a pleasure to catch up with you. Never thought I'd be wishing a City fan good night, but good night, low fat. Look, honestly, as I said when he first dropped in again tonight, he's a class act. He is. He's a really, really nice guy. Patrick, talk to you tomorrow, mate. And thank you, by the way. A few more people did sign up to the Patreon yesterday, so thank you to those people as well. If anybody ever does have any questions regarding that, please don't hesitate to email us, AnfieldAgenda@outlook.com, AnfieldAgenda@gmail.com. Either one of those two, and myself and Connor will get back to you as soon as we can. Yeah, it's... Some people are worried that when you read the things there, like private streams, discounts, weekly newsletters, exclusive artwork, match day shoutouts and more, that they're worried that we're going to start hiding stuff away, that people aren't going to get the content that we get on here. You're always going to get the content on here. When we say private Q&As and stuff like that, think of what we're doing on Patreon as more of a focus group to help us provide the right type of content on here. So we want to know what works, what doesn't work, what people like. So we're going to use Patreon as a kind of sounding block, if that's the right thing to do. So again, we wanted to do it so people don't feel under pressure. We wanted to do it so people don't feel like there's a barrier there. So the two levels on Patreon are $2 a month, $5 a month, which roughly equates to about $1.50 and I think £3.75, something like that. And for that, all the things are on there. So if you want to go over there and check it out, much love. And if you don't, it's cool, because everything on here is going to be free. That's never going to change. We're not ever going to start charging you guys for content, because who the fuck would want to pay for this? I'm just a bald, Irish, overweight gobshite that likes to come on and spout nonsense. Nobody should have to pay for that. What else have we got? Good night, low fat, and best of luck tomorrow. Oh, guys, wish me luck, actually, on this. Speaking about being, the fatness and all. I'm starting a new plan tomorrow where I'm restricting myself to 600 calories a day for the foreseeable future. So I've got myself some meal replacements and stuff. I'm trying to get myself back into better shape. So fingers crossed. I should be able to have one can of Diet Coke a day, but with the citric acid and stuff in it, I've got to be careful. But wish me luck on that one anyway. Will, how are you, mate? Welcome in. And please do keep hitting that like button as well. And if you haven't subscribed, please do that as well. Sorry, so many comments, I'm trying to get through them all. We should do a charity stream for autism someday, said Rafa the Gaffer. I've always planned on doing a charity stream, but what I wanted to do was make sure that the channel was in a place where we could have as much impact as we possibly can. So I'm still waiting for the channel to develop a little bit further before we do something like that, because I wanted to have as much of an impact as possible, and it's something we should hopefully do on a regular basis as well. Not just for autism. I mean, there's so many wonderful charities, cancer research, autism, as you said, cystic fibrosis. I mean, the list would go on forever. – 600 calories is very little. I know, I've done it before. I mean, I dropped 102 pounds about 7 years ago. I used to weigh 21 stone. Just about 21 stone. I got right down to 12 stone 6, and now I'm back up to like 16ish, so need to drop back down. And 600 calories a day it's manageable. So wish me luck anyway. As I said, we'll see how it gets on. So if I come on and I'm a little bit crabby, bear with me. Save the diet chows for special occasions, said Joshua. I'm allowed one a day. Thankfully there's no calories in it. I just have to be careful with the sweeteners and that as well. I hope Cardiff pull off some fouls tomorrow. Ghouls? I don't know what you're trying to say, buddy. Our honeymoon period is over. You must be a United fan, Nestor, are you? We deserve to lose. Yes, sorry, I didn't see your comment above. Wolves are the better team. Very, very fair of you to come on and say that, mate. Well in. I always appreciate a fan who comes on and is honest in their assessment of things. I mean, somebody spoke to me about our game against Spurs the other day, and I said I thought a draw was probably a fair result. October says 600 calories a day is very low. I'm on 1200, and while I struggle to hit that, my doctor says it's the least I can get away with. Again, I have been in this situation before, so I know I can just about get by. But you're right. I mean, they say to lose weight, you want to drop your calorie intake down by something 400 to 600 calories a day less than the recommended daily intake. And I believe the recommended daily intake for a male is somewhere from 2,000 to 2,200 calories. For a female, around 1,800 to 2,000, obviously depending on height, age, and a few other bits and pieces. But yeah, 600 calories and a shit ton of water, and that'll be it. So I got a month's worth of stuff delivered today. Shakes and protein bars and, you know, just bits and pieces. And, you know, you got to do what you got to do. Jordan Henderson donates 5k to Prostate UK and Edwards London Marathon cause, and the gaffer threw in £4,000 as well. And who else was it? Fakir's agent gave £1,000 as well. So good to see people supporting Michael Edwards. Craig, diet chaff is a free thing on a diet. Knock yourself out. It's the citric acid in it, buddy. So sorry to bore people for a second, but basically putting yourself into 600 calories a day, I'm going to be going into what's called ketosis. Ketosis means that your body starts burning fat storage. And to get into ketosis, you should probably stay away from citric acid, although there is thoughts of vary on this one. If you're in ketosis, citric acid can be okay, but some people find that citric acid can delay ketosis, and ketosis is when you get into ketosis, that's when the fun starts, the fat burn, it starts, the energy picks up. Can get a bit of halitosis with ketosis, but I did get some ketosis strips when I was in America, so be able to pee on them and see if I'm in ketosis or not. Honestly, I don't want you guys to win, but good luck. If you do win it, said Nestor, thank you, mate. I can understand completely why you wouldn't want us to win it. Liam, how are you, pal? Welcome in. Alright, Craig, mate, how's tricks? Late in tonight. What are we talking about then? Do you know what? It's been a bit of a free-for-all tonight, Liam. It's too early in the week to start building up towards the game on Friday. And there's not really much happening, so we've kind of taken the piss out of United quite a lot. We've spoken about autism, because it's World Autism Day. Yeah, a few other bits and pieces, mate, but nothing major. 600 calories isn't enough for the likes of yourself. It'll make you feel like shite. I'll be alright. I'll drink loads of water. Have you heard of OMAD? I have not, Nestor. No. Please do enlighten me, buddy. I have, or else I'll have a Google of it. Graham said, I'm keeping a lid on my emotions this year. Got so hyped last year to get heartbroken. I'm excited by what Jurgen's doing. But with footy, it goes up and down pretty quickly. Just want to say we're the best. Graham, I'm with you, pal. Last year's ride in the Champions League was... it was unbelievable at times, mate, wasn't it? Some of those nights, Porto away, Manchester City home and away, Roma, even Roma away. I mean, I remember being over at the screening with Connor and that in Anfield for the away leg, and even though we lost on the night, it never felt like we were in danger of going out, and it was amazing. It was just fucking amazing. Some brilliant nights. Craig, if you drop your wallet, you'll lose £50, mate. If I drop my wallet, I'd get down to it that quick. It would hit me on the back of the neck before I hit the ground. Stay safe, Craig. We don't want to lose you. It's me or the former smoker's drink. Actually, do you know what? On the last time, I really did torture myself. When I said I did that calorie restriction diet the last time, I gave up cigarettes at the same time. So I think I was so starving that I hadn't got time to think about a cigarette. So it actually helped me quit smoking as well, which was a good thing. And now I haven't had a cigarette in 7.5, 8 years, something like that. Hey Craig, does isolation and loneliness play a part when you are autistic? It varies. I mean, there's no one size fits all thing with this one, Sean. Personally, I like being alone. I like spending time on my own, and I'm not a very social person outside of, being on here. Yeah, I might go, this is gonna sound odd, but I could go weeks without leaving my house. Sometimes unintentionally, but I can't speak for everybody, mate. It is just individual to each person. The spectrum for autism is so wide and continuously growing as more things are discovered and variations, and I'm absolutely not qualified to talk about it as well. As long as it doesn't come up showing 2 blue strips. John, I've been fixed with that regards, mate, so there'll be no blue strips for me, no 2 blue strips. Craig has been taken to the vet. Do some light hill training, the weight will fall off. I did get a treadmill, mate, so do have a treadmill now on the gaff as well. OMAD is 1 meal a day. Oh, okay. No, that wouldn't work for me. I'll tell you why, I'm a fussy eater and I'll just end up eating shitty stuff again. So best to just, stick with what I know worked last time anyway. Leeds fan here, just found your account. Welcome in, mate. Welcome in. A couple of Leeds supporters in my family, actually. Really excited to see how you guys get on this season. Are you feeling confident about coming up? And, question for you, if you did come up, buddy, would you like to see James Milner go back, if you go back into the Premier League and maybe finish his career at Leeds? Broccoli and chicken is super weight loss food. Oh no, broccoli. And the aspartame too, Craig. The body doesn't recognise it, so the brain doesn't think it's full. You keep having more. Yeah, there is the sweetener aspect to it as well, Joanne. I gotta have one a day though. I fucking have to do it. I'm giving up coffee and everything, so I'll have to have one can at night. What about the crisps? The crips. Yeah, the crips are going out the window. No crips. Wish I could stop smoking, said Darren Calvin. What I read to help stop smoking was Alan Carr's easy way to stop smoking, or easy way to quit smoking. I can't remember which one it's called. And it worked for me. I mean, I wanted to be brainwashed, so it worked for me. My aunt and my Chelsea fan art teacher both drink Diet Coke. It seems to be a trend with nicotine withdrawal. I don't know if I was drinking Coke before I stopped smoking, so I don't know if it had any influence on me in that sense. It'll be difficult but not impossible to do the double, said Alex. I mean, I like your thinking, mate. I like your thinking. And you're right, nothing is going to be simple. It's not even in our own hands at this moment in time with regards to the Premier League, but I do like the fact that you said believe, mate, and you got to keep believing. Stephen said, I'm a diabetic and I have tolicity every Wednesday that breaks any crap down in my body. I'm ashamed to say, mate, I'm embarrassed to say I don't know what a tolicity is. My mum was diabetic because she had an operation on her pancreas which made her a diabetic. She wasn't born a diabetic. But yeah, please do enlighten me, mate, and let me know. I'm sorry, I'm a bit embarrassed to say I've never heard of it before. Okay, what else we got? Absolutely love Ericsson at Liverpool, a dream signing, said Eric Worry. He would be, mate. He'd be great at any side in Europe. He's that good of a player. Just Dance equals weight loss. There you go. Like the dancing priest and Father Ted. Imagine that. Imagine I came on stream and I was just giving it this for the entire stream. I know that's the worst dance you've ever seen in your life, but sorry. I'm in a chair. It's kind of the best I can do. Inside I'm dancing. I know Craig might seen it happen. I think this year we'll make the final, get Gerrard in the changing room, give a bit of a speech. Ashley Young is an old nonce, said Bio 2.0. I mean, you're a United fan, Bio, aren't you? Liam, no excuses. Young was crap, said Nestor. Absolutely love Ericsson. The Leeds fan, every day is me, said, reckon we'll just make it up, but it'll be close. Also, would defo take Jimmy Milner back. It's actually a topic that's been spoken about, mate, between Liverpool fans, well, on here anyway, a little bit, and that they would not begrudge James Milner that move to finish his career with the club he started with. But I tell you what, whenever James Milner does leave Liverpool, it will be with the height of respect, because he has been a tremendous asset to this football club, an absolute professional in every sense of the word. I can't speak highly enough of the man. I was about to start singing a song there because somebody wrote it in the chat. I was going to bring nice things. What the fuck do I bring now? Proud. Oh, on Tuesday, mate. Just bring your good self. Just bring your good self and your voice, Brian, and we'll be good to go. Brian's going to be joining me on Tuesday for the watch along of the Porto game. So really looking forward to catching up with Brian again. So it won't just be me, you see, for that watch along. Brian will be here. Just a reminder for this week. So tomorrow night we'll be here. Thursday night we'll be here, of course. Friday is the game, and then Saturday, Sunday, Monday I'm not going to be on because I'm over in London filming that little thing I was speaking about. And then Tuesday we'll be back and Brian will be with me for the watch along. Craig, I'm going to sign up to the Patreon now, said it's Alex. Mate, only if you feel it's something you want to do. There's no pressure from our side whatsoever. Klopp can lead us to the promised land, said Rob. He defo can, Rob. He defo can. I mean, during the game the other day, when it was 1-1, there was actually a couple of people, not regulars, I want to stress this, but there was a couple of dickheads that came in saying Klopp out. That is just bullshit of the highest order. Honest to goodness, like, that man has transformed this football club with the help of the owners, I have to say, and with some brilliant work from Michael Edwards and the recruitment team as well. How would you not love Jurgen Klopp? What else have we got? I quit a 50-a-day addiction with the same book. Changed my life, did Mr. Carr. It is a really straightforward book, Craig, isn't it? It's a book that just lays it out for you in plain black and white. There's no magic to it. There's no gimmicks to it. It's just if you want to give up smoking, it's a pretty damn good book to read. Can autism be cured? No. Mate, no, it's not a disease. It's, I suppose, would you call it a learning difficulty? Again, it's hard to sum it up in a sentence or two. But no, there's no cure because it's not an illness as such, if you get me, or a disease. Why is the chat still on food? Probably because I know I'm not going to be allowed to have any, mate, soon. So maybe that's why. Maybe I should push on. Deja vu keeps happening to me. It's scaring me. Oh, I went through a phase, mate, where that happened for a little while as well. It is mad how the brain works, isn't it? It is absolutely nuts, yeah. Deja vu is freaky when it happens. I have a friend who's a Spurs fan who wants Eriksen to stay, said Nestor. Oh, mate, I absolutely believe that he would. He's a quality player. He's got 1 year left, I think, after this season, and you will see the vultures going around Spurs. You'll see Barca there, you'll see Madrid there, you'll see other Premier League clubs there, you'll probably see Juventus there. I mean, he's a quality player. You can have a water only diet, but you'll have to contact a dietitian for the correct measurements. I absolutely don't believe you can have a water only diet. There's no calories in water, and your body needs calories to survive. You can survive on water for X amount, I don't know, 20, 30 days, I don't know how long it is, but I would very much doubt that there's a water only diet that exists. Yeah, that's just my opinion anyway. But I'm not a dietitian, as you said, or a clinical doctor, so my opinion doesn't really matter a jot on this one. Rabiot, yes, on Rabiot, it seems like he's going to head to Real Madrid if the papers are to be believed. If Rabiot's a baller and his heart is in it, we should get him on a free. I read that and then said what I was going to say and then didn't read out your comment till afterwards, Graham. Sorry, mate, but you are the one that put Rabiot in my head. Yeah, it looks like he may be gone to Real Madrid. I think with all our celebrating this year, we've all lost a good amount of weight, said Joshua. Absolutely possible. And the worry as well. Milner's a legend, said Gary Richards. 3 points on Friday. How many world-class players have Liverpool had in the last 20 years? I can think of 2. Well, you need to fucking think harder, Harold, mate, to be fair. If you can only think of 2. So, who are they? Suarez, Gerrard, Van Dijk. If you wouldn't class Van Dijk as world class at this moment in time, I give up. And you have to include Gerrard. You have to include Xabi Alonso. You have to include Javier Mascherano. In their positions, these players are top of their field. I know world class is a very open-ended phrase and you take it with a pinch of salt, but I think 2 has been a little bit disrespectful. Actually, fuck it, I think 2 has been very disrespectful. Did you ever try fasting? Yes, of course, but intermittent fasting does work to an extent, but then basically when you eat, you take in calories again. To my limited knowledge of this, you just rebuild up the stores that your body has taken the fat from, I believe, again. But look, I'm not qualified to talk about this really. Well, not really at all, actually, sorry. United will be calling Mourinho back soon, said KitKat. Guys, we're only 4 subscribers away from 10,250, which is another great milestone to hit. So if you are watching and you haven't hit that button, we're only 4 away. Every single subscription helps, so please do hit that button. You have to include Coutinho. He was world class for us. Um, Actually, on that, I wouldn't put him in that bracket. But as I did say, this is a very personal, open-ended thing, mate, isn't it? So, I suppose, what is world class? There's no definitive answer to what is world class. Different diets work for different people. Absolutely true. Absolutely true, Brian. It's not a one thing fits all, but to some extent, calorie counting works for everybody. Um, but look, as you said, always seek. I'm not trying to give out any advice to anybody on here. Always seek professional advice. Always go to a dietitian, a doctor, a specialist. Don't listen to idiots like me. I can only talk to you about what I've done and what I've gone through and what I will be going through. After that, take what I say with a massive pinch of salt. Verratti would be a great signing to replace Milner. He has always been one of my dream signings, Philip, for Liverpool. He's a little bit injury prone at times, but wow, what a midfielder he is. I mean, he's almost a complete midfielder. Excuse me. Craig, Alan Carr's Easy Way to Lose Weight is a gem, just hard to reprogram my mind. I actually own that book, Craig. It's downstairs in my house. I read it years ago, and it's just sitting there since. You never mentioned Kenny. Kenny was before my time, Harold, mate. I didn't really get to see Kenny Dalglish, so I've only seen clips of him. And yes, look, I know he was an amazing player, but I don't really feel it's fair for me to talk about players who I didn't see play live, or at least, during my era. So, but look, you're right. Kenny should be in that list. Hansen as well should be in that list. Liam said I was 14 stone, dropped down to 11 stone, and that was just having protein shakes, eating healthy and doing exercise, which is a perfect way to go about it, mate. Well done, and congratulations to you. I hope you keep knocking it out of the park, mate, and I hope you keep being healthy like you clearly are at the moment. From time to time I crack up because of autism, and I don't mean to upset people when I do. I don't know what you mean by crack up, mate. So I have no idea what to say because I don't know what you mean. We had to go people telling us they were allergic to certain foods after they had it and it didn't affect them. I'm going to push on from that one. VVD ain't world class. Salah is losing us the title. Klopp is bottling it because of the absence of Buvac, etc, etc, etc. Please open your eyes, fans who spout this tripe. Sorry, I started reading that, Craig, and I was going, hang on, VVD isn't world class. Oh, then I seen where you were going with it, mate. Okay, what else we got? What do you think of Gabriel Jesus? I think he still has some developing to do. I think he's an excellent footballer. When we were both interested in him when Manchester City signed him, I know we looked at him a while before that, but he's a very good footballer, and I think he'll develop and progress more and become an even better footballer. But I can't help looking at him without thinking of Martin Lawrence, the actor. Every time I see Gabriel Jesus, I see Martin Lawrence. I don't know why. World class has been a crucial cog in a team that performs in a league that any competition or in a league and any competition on a consistent basis. I think it's probably a good enough way of describing it, Aidan, mate. Yeah, I think you've almost hit the nail on the head there, pal. Kenny was the Modras Lee roadie, Craig, which is the dog's bollocks, by the way, to people that don't speak Irish. I witnessed Dalglish on several occasions at Anfield back in the day. He was sublime, said Craig Weston. I think we should start calling Craig Weston Iverado, which means number 2. So we'll just call you Craig number 2. I don't believe in Gabriel Jesus, said Raptor. Straight in there, mate. Fucking nailed it. In, first comment, boom, done, job done. Raptor as always, short and sweet. Nailed it. Jesus isn't a patch on Aguero, which he isn't, to be fair. I mean, Gabriel Jesus is still developing, but Sergio Aguero he's quality. There's no denying it. He's absolute quality. Claire said Hansen is one of my favourite players ever. Though VVD is going to give him a run for his money. Owain said, hey Craig, watching from Jamaica. Welcome, buddy, and thank you for joining us. I hope you're enjoying the stream, and great to have you in with us, and lots of love back from Ireland. I love knowing where people are watching from, and when you hear like Jamaica, Singapore, for me, far-flung places. I've actually been to Jamaica. It was part of a cruise I was on, a very brief time there, but not going to lie, defo got stoned when I was over there. Definitely. I have a funny story about it, which I can't really tell on the stream because I'll get in trouble. But I do hope to get back to Jamaica. A beautiful place. So some of the waterfalls. I mean, and the people as well. A very brief time there, but definitely love the place and want to get back. But welcome, mate. Thank you for coming in. Is it true that Gabriel Jesus is 2,000 years old? Possibly. Or he could just be a very naughty boy. I get angry. Sorry, I didn't know it was a word you don't use. I don't know what. I'm still confused as to what you mean, Dan, by you get angry about autism. But I'm not judging you at all, pal. I mean, this is just an open conversation. I think Ryan Brewster will be an excellent footballer in time, said Ted Hutton, and his time won't be too far away, Ted. Cannot wait to see that young man develop. It just goes to show, I keep saying how hard the club fought to keep him, and we remember last year they cancelled the friendly with Borussia Mönchengladbach because they felt they were trying to poach Ryan Brewster, and more clubs in Germany, I think Leipzig looked at him. I can't remember who else it was that looked at him, but there was a host of European clubs looking to bring Ryan Brewster in, and Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool fought tooth and nail to keep him, and I cannot wait to see the kid develop. He could be a superstar. John Barnes, a Cape Town Muslim, another one watching from New York, said Jonathan King. Welcome, mate, welcome. New York, another place that I've been to for, well, it was a stopover, if I'm being honest, Jonathan, but I did have a slice of New York pizza on the stopover. It was the only New Yorkie thing I felt I could do in JFK during the brief time I had there. But welcome, Jonathan, mate. Always lovely, as I said, to know where people are watching from. Norway as well, from Bayer, welcome. Craig number 2. Yeah, me Craig number 1. You Craig give her a dough. What do you think of the last 9 games for Salah? It's frustrating that he hasn't scored. There's no denying that, Dylan, but he has contributed to the games. I'm not just talking about the header that Lloris managed to throw in off Alderweireld. I'm talking about the impact that he's had freeing up space for other players, his intelligent running, the fact that he doesn't give up, his hold-up play. Look, he'll get there. He'll score. For me, it's just about the team getting the 3 points, mate. It's not really about individual awards or performances. And I love Mo. Absolutely love him. VVD won us the game, not Salah, said Antoango. Look, I can talk, and I did, and I will continue to talk about how brilliant his defensive positioning and awareness was when Sissoko was on that counter-attack and Son was open to his right. Van Dijk was exceptional in that circumstance. Okay, a couple more minutes, guys, then I'm going to head off for the night, if that's okay. United may not even get top 4 now. If not, some of their sponsors are dependent on a top 4 finish. I think was part of the Adidas deal. Did that fall down a bit if they hadn't got so many years in the Champions League, or am I picking that one up wrong? See, this is what I love about our subscribers. October said a good night, and then there's just comment after comment after comment saying good night. I love that. I love the way you guys look out for each other. It is why I honestly believe we've got the best subscribers of any football fan channel. Even though we're a new young channel, we're blessed. We're blessed to have a great group of people. Larry, how the hell are you, pal? I see Larry's in, watching from Canada, from Calgary, where you can now legally get stoned. Larry, look, pal. Do you think it's an accident that when you flirted the idea of myself and Connor perhaps going to Calgary, that I wasn't aware of this? That this wasn't in my thinking. My wife has family in Mississauga as well, which is, I believe, near Toronto. What I know it is, I was there, but yeah, love to get over and say hi and get high as well at the same time. Larry, if we're over there, when in Rome and all that. I wonder how long it'll be. That's a whole other conversation, by the way, and that'll be something we'll deal with on Crack On. We'll talk about legalised marijuana. We'll talk about stuff like the Madeleine McCann documentary. We'll do non-Liverpool related watch-alongs. We'll do some comedy stuff, video podcast, all that type of stuff will be coming up from the summer on Crack On. So if you aren't subscribed, please do get over there and check it out. It's our new channel. Right, I'm going to put it in the chat just so people know how to spell the damn thing, because I keep saying it and people haven't got a clue how to spell it, and rightly so, because it's a weird one. So let me just put it in the chat for you all. If anybody wants to go over there and give us a follow on the second account, we would very much appreciate it. I'll put it in the chat there now. And I didn't misspell it with the lowercase I. It's actually just the way we're spelling it, because on the logo the I has is a microphone. And Crack On is basically the first half of my name, first half of Connor's name, sandwiched together. There you go. Crack On. Nice and simple. When we scored last goal versus Spurs, I felt 2 rows down the centenary. I've been there, Aidan. When Suarez scored against Newcastle, when he rounded Tim Krul and scored in that the equaliser on that 1-1 draw a few years back, I went down. I was in the what part of the stand was it? What was it called? The paddock, and fell down a couple of rows as well. I'm from that country north of England the Romans hated, said John Hamilton. Right, ladies and gents, on that, I'm going to say my good nights as well. Thank you again to everyone for joining us. I'll chat to you all tomorrow at around 9:45. Well, let's say after the Manchester City game. We keep an eye out for your notifications, because we will schedule the stream as always. And then, of course, on Friday the Reds are back in action, so we'll start building up to that game. We'll have a preview on Thursday. Lots of stuff coming up this week. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to drop a like on the stream. Tell your families that you love them. Tell your loved ones that you love them. Look after your families. Happy World Autism Day, and up the motherfucking Reds.